Hey guys, welcome to Heather's house. Today we're making stuffed cabbage. It's kind of time consuming, so we're going to get started on a few things. You want to first get you a head of cabbage and pull off the outside leaves, and then you want to cut the core completely out of it because it's got to be where the leaves will pull away. And then I got over here some boiling water, just about a third of the way the pan's filled up, and some salt in there. I'm going to stick it in there and kind of like start wilting this down. And we're going to rotate it in a minute, but it's going to take a minute to do that. I'm putting the lid on it. We're not cooking, we're just kind of wilting it off a little bit so the cabbage leaves will fold. Right here I have some ground beef, and I'm going to add to it a few things. Got some Lipton onion soup mix. I'm going to put that in there. And this right here is just bell pepper and onion that I ran through the food processor because I don't like cutting onions. Put that in there. You can fresh chop it and just throw it in there if you want to. That's fine. You put salt and pepper. Make sure you season this well. This is kind of like the basis of what you would do if you were making a meatloaf. Just kind of put everything in there. Make sure you get a good amount of pepper. Okay. Now this right here is basically just tomato sauce. It's 2 cans of tomato sauce and a can of diced tomatoes. That I ran the diced tomatoes through the food processor also, so it has a little bit of consistency to it. It's not completely smooth, but I mix those together, tomato sauce and a can of tomatoes. I'm going to put some of that in here, not much. A ladle and a half full. Be right back. We're going to have to mix this up, and you want to take and put your egg in it, like so. I'm going to wear gloves to mix it up because, sometimes you got to mess and gum and things, and this way you can just do what you got to do. I got rings on. You can never get your rings clean, so you don't really want to mix up stuff like that with fingernail polish or rings on your fingers. But if you don't use gloves, just make sure your hands are really clean and take your rings off. And this thing ain't going to work with me if I did it. I shall win. Okay. So what we're going to do, before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and flip this over in here. Kind of roll it around. It's going to come apart on its own. You see it's starting to come apart. Kind of pull those out of the way so we can get to the other ones. Alright. So we're just going to mix. Get up in there, get it all good mixed up. Break your egg so it'll start going through. Just like so. Because you don't have to get in there and just really mix it up good. Now we have a key ingredient we want to add to this, and that is some rice. Give me 1 second. Let's see if I can do this one gloved. You don't want to cross-contaminate because we're not going to use all of this rice. There you go. For you. This is 16 ounces of rice. We're going to probably pour about 4 or 5 ounces of it in there. Put you a good amount. Raw rice, don't cook it. Some you'll see cook theirs before they put it in there, but there's no sense in having to cook something twice and then wash an extra pot where you had to cook the rice. If you do have some leftover rice from the night before, that will work. You can still use that. But if you do, make sure the rice is cold and properly refrigerated so you don't have any cross-contamination of anything, because you make yourself sick doing stuff like that. So you get that all mixed in there real good. Your rice is going to steam inside the cabbage, so don't worry about it not being cooked at the moment. And then your hands are clean. We stay clean. Good job. Alright. We want to take, let me grab a plate real fast. And start pulling these leaves out that we've been getting. This stuff is hot, so don't burn yourself. Kind of pull them out. Just like so. You'll see it'll come off there when it's good and done. This is very hot, so be careful. I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to pull these off, and then we'll be back and we'll start rolling them up. Okay, we've got the leaves pulled away from the cabbage, so we're going to take one and we're going to start filling them. You have this hard part of your cabbage right here. You want to just cut that out and get that down. I'm going to take, I got me a full line pan right here. I'm going to spray it with some non-stick cooking spray. It shouldn't stick, but when you try to cook for somebody, that's when something is going to stick, so it doesn't hurt to spray it. And you take your leaf just like this, get you a spoon, spoon you out a good amount right there, and then you just start the fold, and fold it however you can close it. Kind of go with your cabbage, just like that. And all this you're just going to tuck under. You can secure it with a toothpick, but make sure it's completely closed. Or you can just lay it face down on it, it'll be fine. And you just repeat this until you get a bunch of them done up. I'll do a couple of them for you. Just like so. He's trying to escape on me. Make sure you close it and then just roll it. Just like that. I'll do one more and then we'll let you go for a few minutes while I get this all done in the pan. Try to use your biggest cabbage leaves. Just like so. Hold it up. There we go. Alright, I'll be right back. I'm going to keep on working on these. And when we come back, you'll see them all in the pan done real nice for you. Okay, now that I've got the cabbage rolls done, I've got them all in the pan. I put 3 in the center because they wouldn't fit. So you pack them tightly and close. And we're going to come over here, and we got some leftover meat mixture. So basically you want to make small meatballs. Don't make them real big because the rice has got to be able to steam. And if you make them too big, they won't cook because they're not in the cabbage, which is how you cook the rice. So I just kind of put them in there so you can have a little nice surprise when you're eating it. This cooks really good. Some people do this on the stovetop, and that's fine, but the oven way is the way to go because you don't have to tend to it. Once you put it in there, you're done with it forever until it comes out, and then all you have to do after that is eat it. So it's definitely the way to go. So I'm going to finish the meatballs up and we'll come right back to you. Alright, we got the rest of the meat in the pan. I did a few meatballs, and then I just took in little pieces and just put it sporadically throughout the dish, so that way it'll be able to cook. We got just almost done. We're going to take, this is a leftover cabbage that we didn't make any leaves out of because it's just too small. And you just want to take and just cut it up, just like so. We're going to put this on top. We're going to take and just kind of don't really matter, just kind of break it up, stick it on top of it. This is going to help that meat that's on top, that's not wrapped in anything, help that rice steam as well. I'm just going to break it up in there, all over the top of it. It'll also kind of make it look a little pretty too. Always make sure your food looks pretty. Because if it doesn't look all that great, people aren't going to want to at least try it. I'm going to rinse my hands just for a second and we'll come back to this. There we go. Okay, now that we got that on top, I've rinsed my hands. This is the water that I steamed the cabbage in, so it's already hot. I'm just going to pour a little bit of that on there, and that'll help with the steaming process. Don't put a lot in there, just a little bit. Just don't let it dry out. And then we're going to take some salt and pepper, put that right on top. Always got to have the black pepper. Then we're going to take our sauce, which is right here, which is the 2 cans of tomato sauce and a can of diced tomatoes that went through the processor. And just going to pour it on top and cover it good. That's going to be really, really good. Right there. You got your nice full pan of some good stuff. And you're going to get some tin foil. We're going to wrap it up. Just like this. going to grab a cookie sheet and we'll be right back. Okay, you got this completely covered. Make sure you put it on a cookie sheet because sometimes some of the juice will drip out, and because it's tomato sauce it will smell like it's burning when it's not. So put something under it. You can poke holes in the tin foil. I don't, so I'm just going to stick it in the oven. It's on 400 degrees and you're going to bake it for at least 45 minutes and you're good up to an hour. So bake it for 45 minutes and we'll pull it out in 45 minutes and show you what we got, and it'll be delicious. Okay, we've already pulled the cabbage rolls out of the oven, so we're going to plate them up and see what they did for us. There we go. Those look real nice. I'm going to move that out of the way. This stuff is very, very hot. You can see from right here that the rice is all puffed up and done. So we're going to try to find it underneath the thing to get them out. They're buried down in there. Here's one. There's a little meatball for us. Love the meatball. We'll get one more out. Just like so. And you can get you some of this, the saucier stuff, and just put it right on top. This stuff is very, very hot, so you want to be careful not to burn yourself. There you go. And that is our stuffed cabbage rolls. We're going to cut one open so you can see. They are extremely, extremely hot. There you go. If you wrap them tight, they stay together. You got a nice bite, and you got that sauce that you mixed in there. So it's just going to be absolutely delicious. I'm going to try a little piece. Again, it's really, really hot. So we're really going to have to get some meat on there. I don't want to shortchange myself at all. A little bit of sauce. That is really, really flavorful and really, really good. Please let me know how this turns out for you. It will be absolutely delicious. Thanks so much for watching Heather's House.